Guys, what's going on? Zuko back with another Shadowlands video. Wait, where's my scarf? Oh no, hold on. Okay. Whew, that was close. Okay. Back with another video. This is super exciting, guys. What are we doing? We're doing some testing on all of the potential enhancement shaman builds. My desk is a mess. What is going on here? Okay. So, first of all, we have tier set bonuses on the PTR right now, and we have double legendaries. We're testing them all together. I'm doing one for each of the builds, okay? So this one's for Doom Winds. I'm going to do one for the Stormstrike build, for the Lava Lash build, and for the Feral Wolves build, which is likely to be obviously the new contender for the best build. But let's look at Doom Winds first of all, because this is like the most popular build that people are running. Here's what the tier set bonus looks like on my chick right now. This is, look at that hat. The hat is really cool all on its own. I think that the hat is just like, I don't know. It looks pretty sick. But here's what I want to do. I want to talk about Doom Winds and what I think is probably the best potential combination of Covenants with Doom Winds, because I actually think Doom Winds has maybe the most flexibility of all of the four builds that I'm going to talk about. Doom Winds is not reliant on the Covenant Legendary nearly as much as the other three builds. It really does function quite well on its own, and that's why it's been the go-to build. It's done, obviously the most damage, certainly in Mythic Plus and in Raid, but moving into 9.2 with this double legendary acquisition, I really firmly believe that all of the other builds are gonna like close the gap to where Doomwinds was, right? Doomwinds was here. The other builds were kind of like maybe here kind of thing. I think it's gonna be much closer now. And that's simply because Doomwinds didn't really need a covenant. Didn't matter which covenant you were. Generally speaking, you're Night Fae because there's lots of great bonuses to going Night Fae. And the Night Fae, when you fully channel it, it gets you 3 stacks of Maelstrom Weapon, which give you a chance to get back to your Ascendance proc while Doomwinds was going. So like, that's the only synergy there, but the other three builds have massive synergies built into them that required that extra step of having a Covenant Legendary, which we now have. So I don't think Doomwinds is getting that much of a buff, but the other three builds are getting a huge buff, and they're going to be like really close now. That being said, I think if you're going to play the Doomwinds build in 9.2, you need to probably go Night Fae. I think you could go Kyrian just to get the extra damage, but I really firmly believe Night Fae is probably the best. Let's look at this really quickly. Here's the way you need to set this up. This was confusing to me at first on the PTR, so let me just break it down for you. Once you get to the new zone, Zereth Mortis, you need to farm up a bunch of currencies. I think they're called Cosmic something. Once you get 2,500 of them, you can buy this belt called the Clasp of Unity. This clasp essentially gives you your Covenant ability, your Covenant legendary effect for free. So you don't have to like move your items around and have your Covenant legendary over here and then have your regular legendary over on this slot, because all of our slots are going to get really taken up by the tier set bonus, right? Like we could have potentially five pieces of tier set gear on our body. And so to also have 2 legendary slots, it's going to get really messy. So like the clasp means that if you switch legendaries from Kyrian to Night Fae to Venthyr, it just switches for you and it automatically equips whatever the Covenant legendary effect is. So that's very important to understand. You're going to want to get this belt as early as possible. There is a second way to equip a second legendary, which is to buy the recipe from the vendor in Zereth Mortis, and that only costs 500 of the Cosmic Radiance currency, whatever it's called. I don't know if it'll actually show here. I don't have any yet, so there you go. But the point is, you're either going to get the belt or you're going to buy the recipe. The recipe lets you equip your Covenant Legendary in whatever slot you want, and then you're going to have your regular Legendary somewhere else. But the belt just kind of does all the work for you. So it's ideal to get this. What does this do? Why is this good for Doomwinds? Because Fate Transfusion now obviously this has been in the game for a while now, but now we're going to get the effect of Fey Transfusion reducing our dog's cooldowns substantially. And so we're going to have dogs on top of the Doomwinds effect. Here's the big question for Doomwinds that I want to answer, that I don't understand right now. Is it going to be worth switching to Elemental Spirits versus Ascendance? On the Doomwinds build, you always, took Ascendance, and then every 3 minutes, you had a Doomwinds proc lining up with Ascendance, which did massive amounts of damage. But what's happening with the tier set bonus is that our 2 set says every time you spend Maelstrom Weapon, you have a 3% chance to summon a dog, and then your Feral Spirits attacks have a chance to trigger Stormbringer, which is huge for us in the Doomwinds window, because we want to just be pressing Stormstrike and Crash Lightning in Mythic Plus. Keep in mind, I'm only going to do... Actually, I'll try and do both tests in this video, but it might take up too much time. I don't want to suck up so much time here, but here's the point. The tier set bonus is shifting our priority into Feral Spirits, like substantially. We're getting all these Feral Spirit bonus. So does that mean it's worth us shifting our priority into Elemental Spirits? I think the answer could be yes. Now, I think Ascendance is still an amazing button, and really we'll only just have to figure this out with testing, but here's my basic setup, okay? I have the Doomwinds Legendary. I moved it over here. I have this thing giving me the Night Fae Legendary bonus. I'm with Corian? Corian? Well, I don't know how to say this. I'm taking Corian. I'm not taking the crit buff, and I understand that's what lots of people take it, but I'm just running this setup for now, okay? Just don't shoot me. This is subject to change. You just do what you want with this, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to run in, we're going to press Wolves first, then we're going to Fate Transfuse to get the cooldown back on Wolves, then we're going to press our Doomwinds Wind Fury buff, and we're going to go, okay? This is what it looks like. So we go Dogs, we go Fate Transfuse, and we press this, and we go. I'm not going to use my trinket because you guys might not have this trinket, and I want this to be an honest representation, as close as we can get, right? So our Doomwinds buff is timing out. There we go. I'll just look at the damage breakdown. I'm going to keep going here, but you can look at the damage breakdown. Our Wolves are almost back, by the way. Okay, we're going to keep going. Obviously, Wind Fury attack is going to be the top damage. Our Wolves are back. We're going to summon them. Now, we have 3 Wolves out right now. 2 Fire Wolves. That's kind of unfortunate for our build. We don't want a Fire Wolf at all. But again, you're going to be getting Wolves every time you spend Maelstrom. So my Chain Lightnings are all giving me a chance to get Wolves back. Okay? We're going to get... I'm just going to do a little bit more rotation until we get Doomwinds back, okay? I am going to save Sundering for the Doomwinds window just to be fair. Our Wolves are gone. That's okay. We're going to keep... We got a Wolf there. That's a Frost Wolf, I believe. Here comes Doomwinds, right? Crash Lightning. Boom, boom, boom. Doing damage. Doomwinds is ending right now. Okay, so let's run away for a sec. We're just going to look at the damage. So obviously Wind Fury attack, way up there, as we would expect. I do have the Conduit that buffs, gives me a chance to proc a 3rd Wind Fury. Obviously you're running Forceful Wind, Storm Flurry, blah, 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 right? So this is with Elemental Spirits. I'm going to test this with Ascendance in a minute to see kind of what the difference is. Just to see, I don't know, maybe it's worth taking the Elemental Spirits buff. Maybe it's not. I don't actually know. Ooh, that'd be good. So there's the first test that we did. Overall, we did 12K, but our burst was about 25, I think. I have to look at the tape again. You guys can let me know what you think. But the reason that I'm thinking of taking the dogs is obviously because if you take Elemental Spirits, you have a chance of getting a Lightning Dog, which increases your Storm Strike and Wind Fury damage by 35%. And you can have multiple of these dogs out at a time, meaning you can get Storm Strike damage plus like 70%, Wind Fury damage plus 70%. The question we need to ask is it worth not having Ascendance in order to have the consistent buff? Like Ascendance is the big 3-minute cooldown that we're going to get. Or we could have a consistent like pack to pack all the time. You have a chance of summoning a wolf. And if you get a Frost Wolf, you just do 30% more frost damage. If you get a Lightning Wolf, you get Storm Strike and Wind Fury damage, which like is so good for our build, right? So that was the test with Wind Fury, with the Feral Elemental Spirits build. Let's switch to Wind Fury. Let's switch to Ascendance. Sorry, I can't talk right now. We are switching to Ascendance, and we're going to go, same thing. We're going to go Wolves first, Fate Transfuse, then we're going to press Ascendance with Wind Fury. Ready? Wolves, Fate Transfuse. We're going to hit once. We're going to go this, into this. Go, 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 go. Look at all the procs we're getting. The tier set bonus is so good for us because it gives us procs. The Wolves have a chance to trigger Stormbringer. So, like, if you're in the Ascendance window, then it's obviously really strong. We're going to wait till we get the Doom Winds buff back again, right? We will have a chance of summoning our Wolves. Our Wolves don't have as long of a cooldown, right? So, or they have a longer cooldown now. So, we won't get a chance to summon them right away, but we are going to summon them in a second. Let's move this bug report. I'm going to wait for a second. Okay, I'm going to summon my Wolves right now. Then we're going to press our Wind Fury Totem, and we're going to go. Again, they're giving us procs of Stormbringer. Really, really good stuff. Big damage there. So there we go. That's the ending. I think it's actually almost the same. It's the damage. It's like very, very close. We did 12k there. We did basically 12k here with Ascendance. So here's what I think. This is obviously extremely limited testing, okay? I'm just getting a feel for this, and I want you guys to understand that. We're just getting a feel for it. Let's not make any hard conclusions about this, but it's interesting that they did the same amount of damage. And if you look in our Ascendance pull, the Raptors didn't do as much damage. Obviously, we have Wind Strike in there. Go to our first one. Elemental Raptors Strike is up there once again, but obviously Wind Fury is always going to do more damage. I do think that I just like the idea of potentially getting the Wind Fury, like the Lightning Feral Spirit, right? And getting multiple Lightning Feral Spirits while Doom Winds is active would be disgusting. Like, Wind Fury damage is already going up. We're indexing so hard into Wind Fury damage. On top of that, you could now say, we're gonna index even further into it because you're gonna get that lightning wolf that's gonna buff it by 35%, 70%, whatever it is, right? If you get multiples. So our Wind Fury damage was higher on the Feral Wolf build, 27% almost, because we had those wolves buffing us. The Wind Fury attack is lower on the other build, right? So just interesting differences there, and you can see we've got Elemental Raptor damage. We've got obviously the Icy Edge damage coming through. The only issue with this build is if you get multiple Fire Dogs over and over and over again, then you're not getting any benefit really out of this Elemental Spirits thing. Like, you're getting a small benefit, but really the benefit comes when you get the Lightning Wolves. So you can go with the consistent pack-to-pack damage of the Elemental Spirits buff and hope to get the RNG of getting a lightning dog. Your chances are really high because, again, this is going to be summoning dogs all the time. You have a 15% chance every time you use a spender to get a dog for 9 seconds. That's nothing to, that's a really good percentage chance there. Excuse me. And then you have the cooldown of elemental spirits down as well. Plus, Fey Transfusion reduces the cooldown of the dogs again, so like it just leans really hard into having the extra bonuses from this. If you take Ascendance, this extra buff of getting your dogs back more is good. It's still good, but it's just not as good. So yeah, that's what I was just thinking about. I'm trying to think of if there's anything else I want to test. I guess I'll try it on a single target here. We'll go behind him so that he doesn't like parry us and stuff. But I will show single target here, but once again, this is kind of what you're looking at. If you're thinking of running Doom Winds into the next patch, you can. I don't think it's going to be bad by any means. I think it'll be just fine, and you're just getting a straight buff from the wolves. But the big question you need to answer is, do I switch to Elemental Spirits? We're going to try it again on single target, see how it goes. Make sure I have my buffs rolling. Okay, we're going to go Dogs, Fey Transfusion, Wind Fury Totem, go, right? Dogs, Transfusion. Inferior Totem and go. Again, they're giving you a chance to proc Stormbringer, which is going to get you... We got so unlucky there, but that's okay. The dogs are going to come back. Our big buffs are now coming from these dogs, right? So it's great to get them back quicker. There go 3, 2, 1. Here they go. Out again. Stormbringer. We got a fire dog, so make sure we press Flame Shock and Lava Lash, sorry. Every time you use a spender, you have a chance to get them. And they're giving us Stormbringer. Like, it just smooths out your rotation so much. We have Wind Fury Totem in 20 seconds. Okay, they're gone again. That's okay. I'm not even using my trinket, so I'd be doing a lot more damage here. But again, I don't know what trinkets you guys have at home, so I don't want to mess with it. Here comes Wind Fury Totem. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Dropping it. Crash Lightning. Go, go, go. Got a dog. Got a... That's a lightning dog. So he's buffing our Wind Fury damage right now. And our Storm Strike damage. So that was kind of a good overlap right there. Again, you're not going to be like waiting and holding CDs to see if you get a lightning dog. Like that's not what I'm talking about. You'll get consistently, you will get the lightning dogs consistently over and over and over again, right? You'll get that. So that's a single target breakdown. That was only about 9k DPS, not the best, but we don't have lust. I wasn't using a trinket. There's a lot of things that are going on there. So this is something you guys are going to have to evaluate on your own. Anyway, the big question for Doomwinds is this. Are we switching away from Ascendance into Elemental Spirits because the tier set is pushing us into that direction so hard? It's saying, hey, your wolves are now very, very important, and they're going to give you all these... You have a chance of just having wolves out all the time. So, like, does that push us into that build? I would love to say yes. I mean, you guys will have to let me know what you think the bottom line is. And, yeah, I think that's all I wanted to test for Doomwinds. Once again, in terms of, do you think that you could go Kyrian and just go Mechanicos for Vortex Legend? If you're looking for synergies, which is what we're looking for here, synergies, I think the only real synergy that exists that you get from the fully channeled Fate Transfusion gives you 3 stacks of Maelstrom Weapon, which gets you to your Storm Strike, and it also is going to reduce the cooldown of the dogs. That's the big synergy now for Doomwinds, and if you take Elemental Spirits with the Doomwinds Legendary, then you're going to have a higher chance of having a Lightning dog out. That's it, guys. Let me know what you think. I'm going to do a video for every single one of the builds for Enhancement Shaman, and stay tuned for those, okay? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.